Good evening, Council President Troutner, council members, and Kent residents. Tonight, I'm proud to present you with my proposed 2021-2022 biennial budget. I am so thankful for the continued collaboration between community members, the City Council, and our city departments. I firmly believe a budget is a roadmap that reflects the values of an organization. That is why I am grateful as city leaders we have shared values that center around benefiting our residents and those who call Kent home. I thank the City Council for their teamwork and commitment to improvement so we can continue to make Kent a place we are all proud to call home. Within the $687.7 million total balanced budget, $217.4 million is allocated to the general fund. In 2020, with the assistance of the state and federal government, we were able to invest over $14 million on programs benefiting vulnerable populations, including our youth and seniors. In my proposed budget, we will invest an additional $16 million into those programs, showing successful results for our community. Additionally, I am pleased to announce the creation of the Human Services Opportunity Fund to further support organizations doing exceptional work in the community. Through this funding, we can boost the work that they're doing. We will continue to be on the forefront of transparency and accountability in law enforcement. As one of the first cities in the state to implement body-worn cameras in our police department, this budget continues that promise by investing in additional cameras for our officers. Body-worn cameras directly increase transparency and accountability and have been a tremendously helpful tool. We will continue to leverage red light camera funds to outfit the remaining 40 members of our commissioned law enforcement staff with body-worn cameras. In addition, we will continue our Power Per Officer program and purchase 12 vehicles per year. This program greatly improves efficiency and is a significant cost savings for our city. I want to ensure that Kent is a place everyone is proud of, and that means focusing on equity in our projects, programs, and service delivery. My proposed budget creates an equity manager to help us with that work. The budget also includes funding to engage a consultant to help create an equity and social justice strategic plan for the City of Kent. We are currently working on the development of a job description, and our intent is to launch recruitment even before this budget is adopted. You've heard me say it many times, but we must continue to tell Kent's story to attract both residents and businesses, ensuring Kent claims its stake as a regional destination. I am very pleased to announce the creation of an Economic Development Opportunity Fund. This fund will be available to all departments that match initiatives of economic development. Example uses could include design projects in preparation for grants, as was the case with Meet Me on Meeker, or to leverage workforce development initiatives like Kent has shown in its partnering with the Aerospace Joint Apprenticeship Committee. The fund will provide economic development with a sustainable funding source to spearhead projects to achieve city and departmental goals and objectives. Funds can seed, supplement, or leverage other external funding opportunities that are pertinent to city planning or economic development functions. Opportunities regularly occur from Department of Commerce and can be useful in forging partnerships to help us realize city objectives for surplus property and developments. While we continue to share Kent's story, we also have the opportunity to honor and educate the region, including our young folks, about Kent's past. This budget provides additional funding to the Greater Kent Historical Society to allow them to continue to educate, inspire, and share the foundation of Kent with the rest of the region. We're always looking for opportunity to innovate, and we found a perfect chance here. Currently, the city has several locations that are under contract to maintain landscaping of our rehabilitated planted islands and planting strips. These contracts are set to expire at the end of 2021. This proposed budget provides for a shift from contract work to handling this work in-house by adding 2 living wage jobs in our streets division to perform this work. Rather than sending our tax dollars out to a contractor, we found another opportunity to reinvest those dollars in local people, create local jobs, and support local families. As a region, we continue to struggle with the homelessness crisis, often resulting in illegal encampments in our open spaces and environmentally sensitive areas. This budget makes an additional investment in cleaning up the encampments within our city to protect vegetation and restore areas critical to Kent's ecosystem. I would like to applaud the City Council who on September 15th approved an ordinance extending the square footage component of the city's B&O ordinance to include outdoor warehousing activities, closing a revenue loophole, and creating equity between businesses that conduct certain warehousing activities, whether inside the confines of four walls or outside of the facility. This has allowed us to invest more in our capital program within this budget than we would have been able to otherwise. We are estimating that this would generate approximately $2.1 million in revenue to the City of Kent. As a result of closing the loophole in our B&O ordinance, the budget includes the allocation of the new $1.8 million revenue stream to the Capital Resources Fund to support our capital program. Highlights of projects in the 2021-2022 capital budget include revitalization of Mill Creek Canyon. Mill Creek Canyon is one of Kent's greatest natural recreational amenities. Mill Creek has the potential to become a connector between people in the downtown Scenic Hill, the historic Mill Creek neighborhood, and the East Hill shopping area. It's rare to have such a beautiful natural recreational corridor right in the heart of an urban area that connects so many key neighborhoods and businesses. The budget includes $1.5 million for cleanup of encampments, trail restoration, and to improve access to the canyon, and we will add positive use features such as natural play, small off-leash dog areas, and other amenities. Kent Memorial Park renovation. The budget includes $1 million in additional funding to complete renovations to the back two fields at Kent Memorial Park. This will serve as a vital neighborhood park space for the surrounding community. This project will completely transform this park, which was historically a jewel in Kent's park system, back into a source of pride for our residents that provide opportunities for them to improve their physical and mental health, come together as a community, and be an attractive rental facility for regional and state athletic tournaments. Street overlays. The 21-22 budget includes significant investment of over $6 million in the city's residential street overlay program, which is funded through the utility tax collected for solid waste. In addition, $6.1 million of the B&O tax revenue will be used to support city street overlays throughout our city. Kent East Hill Operations Center, or KEHOC. This $630,000 project is an investment in the current East Hill facility in which existing office space, restrooms, staff reporting space, lunchroom, and men's and women's locker rooms will be drastically improved. This project will renovate the existing entrance area and automate the security gate to enhance security and safety. It will provide area lighting to enhance safety and security for staff and city assets stationed at this facility. Acquisition and installation of a modular office and modular restroom will replace the aging office trailers and Santa cans the staff use currently. A secondary containment unit will also be installed for storage of pesticides and chemical supplies on that site. Technology. During this biennium, we are continuing to invest in the city's technology by funding hardware and software life cycles with $1.6 million each year. In addition, the budget includes nearly $10 million in technology projects, such as the replacement of our current law-based system with one or more solutions for civil, prosecution, and probation users, the replacement of Tiburon, which is our existing police records management system, replacement of our current meter reading equipment, Radex, and a new business licensing system. 2020 was an extremely challenging year for all of us, especially local governments. The COVID-19 crisis came right on the heels after we faced a fiscal cliff that with your help we were able to manage in the 2019-2020 budget. Although we were able to mitigate the impacts of the fiscal cliff, it delayed our ability to address the ongoing structural imbalance that the city faces every year as expenses increase annually by over 2% and the revenues only increase by just over 1%. As you know, this imbalance isn't unique to the City of Kent, and it is something most local jurisdictions grapple with during their budget process. With COVID-19, there are many unknowns regarding the timing of when things are going to get back to normal, recognizing that there were going to be significant financial implications as a result of the stay-home order. Revenue forecasts were updated. To counter an anticipated $15.7 million revenue loss, as an organization, we underwent an extensive citywide budget reduction exercise. The projected revenue shortfall was addressed through a combination of utilizing our reserves one-time, ongoing, and personnel operating reductions, and reductions in non-departmental capital transfers. The city had strategically established a policy surrounding fund balance for the general fund, setting aside funds for the purpose of a rainy day account or an emergency. Not only had the policy been established, but the fund balance was purposefully grown beyond the minimum requirement in order to provide us with the capacity to address our ongoing structural imbalance. I can't imagine a time where utilization of those funds would have been more appropriate. Although we have tapped into our fund balance to address some of the revenue shortfall, there is fund balance remaining should this crisis last longer than predicted. The revenue shortfalls from COVID-19 only exacerbated the structural deficit we knew we would face in 21-22 budget. Therefore, we looked for long-term solutions that would address our immediate budget crisis, but also fill in that future deficit. By doing so, we were able to eliminate the need to make additional reductions during this budget process, and it made it possible to bring forth a balanced 2021-2022 budget. We made strategic decisions early to prevent drastic decisions later. Despite the deep cuts we had to make, we've not made any reductions to human services or community investment. In fact, with the coronavirus relief funds and the Community Development Block Grant coronavirus funding, we have been able to increase support to those most impacted by COVID-19 and to our vulnerable populations. In May, we were awarded COVID-19 recovery funds that equaled nearly $3.9 million. The funds were limited in their use and can only be used for costs directly associated with COVID-19 incurred through November 30th of 2020. They cannot be used to address the revenue shortfalls impacting our budget. In August, we received an additional COVID-19 recovery funding in the amount of $1.9 million. Planned uses for those impacted by COVID-19 include small business grants, rental, food and utility assistance, improved technology to support social distancing efforts, and personal protective equipment for staff and residents. It's all of those really cool masks you've been seeing around town. Additional examples of some of these include funding to support small businesses or micro enterprise, especially those owned by underserved individuals who require rental assistance, along with hands-on support to navigate local and federal loan and grant programs through education or assistance in completing documentation. Many small businesses and nonprofits cannot afford an attorney, but they need to consult with an attorney during COVID-19 for related business and legal questions. This funding will provide online or virtual assistance to those small businesses and nonprofits. From the preliminary data of the state, our diverse population is disproportionately impacted by COVID-19 and have died at higher rates than their demographic representation in our population. Funds provided to community healthcare organizations accessible to and trusted by underserved populations is a high priority for us. Homeless services, including shelter and transitional housing, providing for the unhoused impacted by COVID-19, such as support for emergency shelter and transitional housing programs. This budget does not restore positions or other cuts that were made during the COVID-19 budget reductions. While 2020 has provided us with many unprecedented challenges, 2021-2022 will provide us with many opportunities. Now is our time to rise to the occasion, to show the region what makes us so strong, makes us a vibrant, thriving city. We have the opportunity to make continued investments in our residents, including communities of color, vulnerable populations, and our business community. We have made significant progress over the past several years, but that work must continue if we want to stake our claim as a regional destination. I am confident that city leaders and residents have shared values that will set the roadmap for Kent's future. I look forward to the adoption of this budget so our programs, services, and vision for Kent can continue to move forward. Tonight, I respectfully transmit the 2021-2022 budget to the City Council for consideration. This document is a representation of collaborative efforts of city leadership, City Council, city staff, and the entire Kent community. I would like to extend my gratitude to Derek Matheson, department directors, and their staff for their dedication and hard work that has been put into this budget process. And thank you to the Finance Department, particularly our new appointed Financial Planning Manager, Michelle Ferguson, and her team, Kathleen McConnell and Shane Sorensen, who masterfully navigated this budget process while juggling the budgetary impacts of COVID-19. Thank you all for your hard work, collaboration, and willingness to continue to move Kent forward. Our residents, businesses, and visitors are counting on it. Thank you.